Okay, so we are live. We are live on YouTube. Just want to make sure that we don't have any technical issues before we get into the big announcement that I'm going to be making. And that is for the Sports Gauntlet um, podcast that's going to be launching. So if anyone's here, let your voice be heard. Let your voice be heard. Because that's definitely something that I like. I like getting you guys involved. So, obviously, you guys have known me to be a Philadelphia content creator for as many years that I've been doing this. Whew. It's hard to believe how long I've been doing. How long have I been on YouTube actively making videos? What's up, Reaper? What's up, Big Play Slay? Glad you guys could be here. Damn, it's hard to. I don't even really remember. I want to say 17. Between 16 and 17, or 17 and 18 is when I really started doing videos. But you know what, Grizz, what's up, bro? What's up? I'm hoping that we don't have technical issues because, when I did my previous live stream, it was only thanks to Grizz letting me know in the comments that, we can't hear your mic. We can't hear your mic. So hopefully, hopefully there's no issues. But before I talk about this Sports Gauntlet podcast and everything else that's to come with that, I just wanted to take one shot in honor of the Sports Gauntlet, in honor of this channel, in honor of the Eagles, and even in honor of my gaming channel. I don't know if you guys have been seeing me struggle on Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, but I'm kind of getting used to the motion controls. The Switch is kind of like a hybrid gaming console because you can play games that have motion controls and you can also not play with them, but I want to get the full experience for that game, so that's why I've been doing with the whole motion control stuff. But got the gaming channel, got this channel, obviously, and we're gonna be doing this. And I know a lot of you guys remembered the Reading React show, but me and Joey, we've just both been busy with different stuff, so occasionally I'm gonna be going to his channel to do a live stream. He's gonna be coming over here. So, it's just something that we both are gonna be having to figure out when we're both available. So, but don't worry about that. For you really long time fans, those fans of the Reading React show, we're kind of gonna be bringing some more NFL content to you guys. But before I go any further, one shot of the Crown Royal, just so you guys don't think I'm fucking off. You got the bag and everything. Honestly, when you finish a bottle of Crown Royal, I don't know what you're supposed to do with the bags. I usually keep them because I guess you could store stuff in them. But cheers, one shot for the Sports Gauntlet podcast that's going to be coming to YouTube. So, as far as this podcast goes, this is something that has been going on mainly on Facebook. There is and I know Facebook's kind of, I don't really like Facebook, but as far as talking sports on multiple platforms, that's something that I want to do. Obviously, this is probably the platform that I've had the most success with, having over 1,300 subscribers, making content with other guys like Joey Shakes. It's been fun. It's been great. But we're trying to expand that. We're trying to go further. We're not just trying to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, because obviously I'm going to continue to do my Eagles content here on this channel. That's not going to change. There's nothing that's going to really change with that. But as far as expanding, we want to bring more people to this community. Okay? We want to bring more people that are not only Eagles fans, but fans from all different walks of life, all different teams, all shapes and sizes, whatever kind of metaphor you want to use to make that comparison. But we definitely want to bring in more people to this community to talk about football, because there's more people that loves football more than just Eagles fans. So the main problem I have with Facebook, though, is it's how can I put it appropriately? You can't fucking speak your mind on Facebook, because in RPF's here, right on cue. RPF, how many times has he been kicked off YouTube? Imagine if he wasn't on YouTube and he was on Facebook instead, saying all the stuff that he has said. Okay? I mean, you can literally catch bans off of Facebook for calling somebody stupid or ugly. Like, that's how PG, that's how strict Mark Zuckerberg's policies are. So it's very tough to deal with that. It's very, very tough to deal with that if you're actively on Facebook. But all that stuff aside, I've made some good friends there. A lot of guys who are passionate about talking sports, that are passionate about the NFL and their teams. People from all different shapes and sizes, like I was saying earlier, all different fan bases. It's mainly me hosting this podcast. I'm going to be the main host of it. And I have been the main host of it over there on Facebook. But we're going to be adding a little more to the mix than what you guys are probably used to seeing. I don't know how many notable Green Bay Packers YouTubers there are, or Houston. I mean, obviously there's Loyal to Houston, who's really the main Houston Texans YouTuber, but obviously my boy Jay, he's from Houston. Matter of fact, he was in the military for a few years, doing his thing there, and he went back to school and he earned his bachelor's degree this past summer. So props to him for really putting that work in doing that. But he loves the NFL. He loves all kinds of sports. So he's one of my main co-hosts. My other main co-host, my friend Tyler, who a lot of you guys may be surprised to hear this, but he's from Chicago. He is from Chicago. He's a diehard Bulls fan. Diehard, what other teams? Blackhawks, Chicago Cubs. But he is a diehard. Brace yourselves. He is a die-hard Green Bay fucking Packers fan, born and raised in Chicago. Don't ask me how. That's a question that you guys will have to ask him. That's a question you guys will have to ask him, because I've asked him out, because it's crazy to me. Loves the Bulls. Loves everything there is to love about Chicago. Deep dish pizza, you fucking name it. But the guy loves Green Bay Packers. So, he's a guy that I've become really good friends with as well. So, you know what? I'm looking forward to doing it. So, I'm just going to give you guys a little more information before we go any further. And I am seeing your guys' comments pop up in the chat, so appreciate you guys taking your time to be here tonight. So here's the thing I want to talk about as far as the podcast goes. Whatever happens in the NFL, the news of the week, that's usually something that we are going over. It's usually like, it was a crazy week this past week. These past couple of weeks, because you had the Frank Clark situation. I don't know if you guys have really paid attention to the news in the NFL. Like, a lot of people they forget about a lot of stuff. But the Frank Clark situation, he possibly could be facing 3 years in prison because he was driving around and he got pulled over and police found an Uzi just chilling in his passenger seat. So And this is not the first time Frank Clark has had issues off the field. This is not the first time he's had gun charges. He's had them before. So as far as fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, there's not much I can say. That's something that we discussed on one of our shows. The Richard Sherman situation, all kinds of that which was a crazy. I don't know if you guys saw the video of him banging on the door saying, come through, let me in. It's just sad to see that because obviously Richard Sherman had one of the most iconic moments, breaking up that pass in the NFC Championship game. Don't try him with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, because that's the result you're gonna get. Like, people are always gonna remember that. People are always gonna remember Richard Sherman going on First Take when Skip Bayless was still with ESPN at the time and saying, "You know what, Skip Bayless, I'm better at life." Like, people are like, Richard Sherman has never been like a guy that's had off the field issues. He was a graduate of Stanford. He was a 5th round pick, so on and so forth. He's had a successful NFL career. He's made a few All-Pro teams on defense over at the corner position. He's been one of the best at his position for a while until he started getting older, and he just couldn't maintain that level anymore. But that happens to everybody. But you know what? It was really surprising. But first thing we really do is go over the news, that whatever news happens in NFL, whether it be trade rumors, whether it be like a notable signing, somebody gets released. Because when we get to training camp, some guys are not going to make their teams. Some guys are going to get cut. What's going on, my man? Thanks for joining the chat, JC. But we're just talking about the Sports Gauntlet podcast. It's going to be launching. Well, not launching, but just more launching on YouTube. Because obviously we feel like we can reach more people that way. But the way it goes is, obviously we're going to just cover the NFL news, whether it's a big signing, whether it's like some off-the-field problem, Frank Clark situation, Richard Sherman situation, stuff that we've talked about on there. A signing, a trade, topics as far as what's going on in training camp. What guys are taking the next steps? Young players, are they taking the next steps? Are they showing out in practice? Are they going to be able to be more involved in the offense or the defense or whatever position they may play? This kind of stuff that we'll be going over first. And then we'll go on. And as far as the offseason goes, we have been just going over some of our favorite moments of all time. We've had segments where we've discussed, the greatest comebacks in NFL history. Obviously, we had the Deshaun Jackson game where he had the punt return against the Giants in 2010. It's probably going to be most Eagles fans. It's going to be one of their favorite comebacks to talk about. There was the Buffalo Bills coming back against the Houston Oilers in the playoffs. I think they were trailing 38-3, so that's another game that people are always going to remember. We've had segments about greatest walk-off, and that's another one, like the Deshaun Jackson game. That also fits in this category. Walk-off games. Like, I don't know how big people are fans of college football here, but I'm sure you guys have at least seen the play where Chris Davis from Auburn pretty much stood behind the goalpost, returned a missed field goal by Alabama, a walk-off touchdown. Crazy stuff, So we've just talking about like some of our favorite moments of all time. That's been like an off-season segment, but that's probably going to change once we get into preseason, once we get into the NFL season, because when the NFL season is rocking and rolling, we're just going to be talking about the NFL. We're just going to be talking about, what games, the best performances, so on and so forth. We also like to highlight history as well. We've had our Player of the Week segment where, we have the fans, we have people vote for the Player of the Week. And, it's been players from all different eras of the NFL. We've had guys like Jim Brown who played in the 60s. We had guys that's more current. Like, we had, who was a current guy that we had more so kind of current? Calvin Johnson got it 1 week. We've had Randy Moss. We've had T.O. We've discussed, like, all different guys, but we're also going to be taking that a step further, like, during the week. Whatever players have the best performances, whatever game, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be giving you guys a chance to chime in and give your guys' thoughts of you true NFL fans that are watching. Like, you know, a lot of fans, they just watch their team and, you know, they don't really give a shit. But a lot of people just, from Saturday to Sunday night, all they're doing is sitting in front of their TV watching sports. They're just watching the NFL. They're just watching football for as long as they can. So we're going to give you guys a chance to chime in as far as that stuff is concerned with that. And, you know, we're going to also, you guys might find this interesting, but we're also going to be having a segment that's called, what's up, Loyal Houston? Glad you could be here. We're going to be having a segment that's called the quote-unquote Sports Morons of the Week. Now, what Sports Morons of the Week is, you guys may be able to figure this out just by the name, but in case you don't know where I'm going with this, basically, it goes with anything that goes with sports related. It can be any sport, not just football or basketball or baseball or, you know, the basic sports that a lot of people watch and pay attention to, but also just taking it a step further. Any sport, anything goes. You nominate one person who you just think, like, this person is a fucking clown. They're an idiot. Like, they just do something stupid. Like, for example, I'll give you an example of some of our sports morons that we've had. We nominated the Olympic Committee because obviously we had the young lady who was a promising young athletic sprinter that was going to be running for the Team USA in the track and field. And obviously, I believe her name was Sha'Carri Richardson. Correct me if I'm wrong about the name. But she basically couldn't, after training for so long, she got caught for smoking weed, or she had a positive weed test. She smoked weed in a state where weed is legal. Recreational marijuana is not legal in every single state. Obviously, it's not. So, like, understand if it would have happened somewhere else, but she was not breaking the law. She was not breaking the law. You know, I think most people here has probably at least smoked a blunt, even if it was even if you were just high school, just experimenting. You know, like the average person, they probably smoked weed at least one time. Even my grandmother has smoked weed. She told me, like, she smoked weed when she was my age, or like at the time at the age I was at the time when I was in high school. She told me, like, yeah, I smoked weed, and, you know, it was really made me feel weird, so I never did it again. But, you know, the average person, even old people, have smoked weed. You know, weed is not a drug that is going to enhance your performance. You understand what I'm saying here? So it was fucking ridiculous. But it doesn't matter who it is. You can nominate anybody for the Sports Moron of the Week, and that's pretty much the basis of the of these Sports Gauntlet podcasts. And we're gonna be having, you know, not all the people that's gonna be on. In fact, probably nobody other than me is somebody that you're gonna recognize from YouTube. So we're gonna be building this community. We're gonna be taking it further out with the Sports Gauntlet. And we're going to be seeing where it can go, man, because Sports Gauntlet, it's really fun talking about these guys, or talking with these guys about everything in the NFL. So I hope you guys will definitely tune into that. It's on Friday nights at around 8 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Philly. I'm on the East Coast. So going to be 8 Eastern when we started up. The show usually doesn't run over an hour. Sometimes it might be a little over an hour. It depends on how our discussions are going. Depends how involved you guys are with the audience and everything. So it just depends, man. Sometimes it's gone way over an hour. It's gone over for like an hour and a half. Sometimes it goes 45 minutes. But it's usually on average, give or take a little bit over an hour. So that's as far as Sports Gauntlet podcast, that's what we're doing. That's what project I'm working on next. But don't worry, I'm still going to be covering the games as far as Philadelphia Eagles on my main channel. But I'm going to be launching a new channel in the next few weeks. There's still some things I got to work out with the guys that are going to be working with me. And we're going to do that. We're going to get everything all settled. And then we're going to launch a new channel. When I do that, There's a few places you guys can check. I don't know if you guys can see on the layout. You can always follow me on Twitter, get updates there as far as what's going on with the Philly Gym channel. You can always get updates there. Or if not, if you're subscribed, you'll have access. You'll be able to see my community board, and sometimes it'll just pop up on your feed when you check YouTube. When you get on YouTube to look up videos like, how to make your shirt bigger, because sometimes I've bought new T-shirts and they don't fit true to size. So I figured out a new trick where you can make your T-shirt, you can stretch it out and make it bigger. So whatever you're on YouTube for, sometimes it'll pop on your feed. Sometimes it won't though. So if for some chance you don't see it, you can always just go to my channel, go to my main channel where you can see all my videos and stuff, and then you should see a tab. You'll see videos, and then you'll see community. And when you click community, that's where you can view the community posts. So as far as updates, I'll probably post a channel link there as well, or you could always follow me on Twitter, and that's where I'll also be posting stuff about the Sports Gauntlet, players of the week, polls and everything. We'll put polls on my community board too, so you guys can vote. But we definitely want everyone to be involved, as far as the subscribers, as far as the followers. We want you guys to be involved with this with the podcast. So it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really cool. There's gonna be new people that a lot of you guys have never really seen. So we're gonna be doing this thing, man, and I'm glad you guys could be a part. So let's get to some comments, because I've been seeing a lot of comments coming in. Yep. Yeah, JC. Obviously, the Brian Westbrook return against the Giants. That was around 2001, I believe. So that was very early in the 2000s. I was a little kid when that happened, but I still remember it. Brian Westbrook, he's a stud. He's a stud. Every Eagles fan loves Brian Westbrook. He pretty much passed the torch, and he charted the path for Shady McCoy to come in and be really successful. So he was a great mentor. I think if he wanted to get into coaching, he's also been a great analyst as well. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him on FS1 or wherever he's at, but the guy's really smart. He has a good football mind. So I enjoy listening to him talk. So if he ever wanted to get into coaching, I definitely think he could become a running backs coach and go from there. But yeah, love Brian West, bro. Love B West. What's up, Loyal? Sparks, can you share my Twitter when Dorsey stops being a bum and unbans me, bro? Yep. Shout out to Grizz for getting banned. Obviously, you guys know who he is. He's known for trolling people, and he created all the fake Ian Rappaport, and he got kicked off. And then he got kicked off to the point where it was, he was pretty much just done after that. But obviously, yeah, Shady snow game against the Lions. Yep, definitely. That was definitely another great. That was probably one of his greatest performances. He had over 200 plus yards in that game. It was insane. That was one of our last years with Shady. I think that was 2013. So he came back 14, and then after the 14 season was when he was traded for Kiko Alonso, which was a ridiculous trade. But, we won a Super Bowl only a few years after that. So it sucks, because I feel like players like Deshaun Jackson, players like Shady, they should have been there as long as they were with the organization. They helped us really get to where we are. But, with Chip Kelly in here, he wanted to be, he was kind of like a dictatorship, but I call it a dictator chip, because dictator Chip was trying to destroy this team. And that's effectively what he did, but somehow when Doug Peterson came along, it was just a perfect storm, and Howie made good 1 year deal. Like, here's the thing with the Super Bowl team. I know everyone loves to give Howie most or all of the credit, but here's what I have to say about that. I can't do it. I can't do it because it was a perfect storm. Carson Wentz was great that year. As much as we get on him, he quit on the team. But that season, that was when he was a really good quarterback. After that, he started taking steps back, regressing, going downhill. He didn't work on his game. He didn't work on his mechanics. He didn't work on the things he didn't do well. He really fumbled the ball. He didn't throw as many interceptions, but he really, really did fumble the ball quite a bit, which was obviously a huge problem and costed us quite a few games. But that's besides the point. Wentz was great that year. The coaching was great. Frank Reich was great. Doug was great. Everybody was great. Everybody was great. The defense was good. The defense was top 10, and Jalen Mills was our top corner, and we still had a top 10 defense. So if that doesn't tell you what you need to know, I don't know what will. I mean, it was just a perfect storm for the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of one-year deals paid off, okay? But, was it really that big of a deal? It's hard to really say. Because Howie tried to duplicate that, and then he fucked up. He tried to duplicate it in 18. If you guys see the formula that he used, Patrick Robinson, 1-year deal. LeGarrette Blount, 1-year deal. All these guys signed 1-year deals. He gave up a 4th-round pick to get Ajayi. He gave up like a 5th or a 6th, or it was like a pick swap or something to get Timmy Jernigan. You see what I'm saying? So he didn't really take any like big risk type of a move. Like a big risk type of a move is when you look at a team like the Tennessee Titans. They traded for Julio Jones. And when you add Julio Jones to that team with Derrick Henry, with A.J. Brown, who's already a stud wide receiver, you pretty much have arguably maybe the best receiver duo in the entire NFL. So the Titans are making moves that they're saying to themselves, yes, if we add this guy, he's going to put us over the top. And the Eagles have had opportunities to do that. They had opportunities to trade for Jalen Ramsey. They've had opportunities to add guys of that level. But Howie doesn't. That's not who he is. Okay? Everyone has always said Howie sees it and all this other stuff about Howie. But what is he really doing? What has he really done? Like, what great moves has he really made? I think he's made the moves that he can in the situation that he actually put us in by overpaying veterans who extremely, extremely underperformed, like an Alshon Jeffrey. You see what I'm saying? We got in cap hell because he's giving these guys all this fucking money that they haven't earned. Okay? Just because you're on a team 1 year, you help the team win a Super Bowl, great. That doesn't mean you're fucking worth 13, 14, 15 million a year like what he gave Alshon Jeffrey. Okay? Alshon was making 14 or 15 million a fucking year. And as good as Alshon was that year, when has Alshon ever been a top-tier wide receiver? Even at the peak of his career, he was a number 2. Because the Bears at the time still had Brandon Marshall. So they were a good receiver duo, and they fed off of each other's skill sets. But at the same time, Alshon has never been that guy. But you're going to give him 15, 16 million a year? And then when he's playing like shit and getting injured and just not playing like a number 1 receiver, you're like, okay, let's fucking move the money from this year and push it all the way to this year, whether it's 1 or 2 years down the road. You're still fucking us. It doesn't really matter. So if you have a guy like that and you sign him to a contract like that, you need to find a way to get out of it as soon as possible instead of pushing the money further so it drags on even longer. You guys understand what I'm trying to say here? So that's why we got in this situation where we could only really add 2 or 3 notable guys in free agency. We added Eric Wilson, who got a lot of playing time with the Vikings because guys got injured at the linebacker position from Minnesota. Okay? Also from Minnesota, Anthony Harris. Those were two good additions on the defense. But we didn't make any moves that's really gonna say, wow, look at what the Eagles did. I still think the Eagles are in a position to compete. I think Jalen Hurts, all he's ever done is compete in his life. All people do is doubt him. So I think he's gonna step in and he's gonna take his best shot at it. And I hope he earns the opportunity to stay in Philadelphia, because I know the damn Deshaun Watson rumors has been going on, and I did make a video about that if you guys haven't seen it already. Basically, this is where I'm at with that. Fuck that. And I'm a big Deshaun Watson fan. I hope that all the stuff that's come out, I really hope it's not true, because I think he's a great young man. And I really hope the stuff isn't true. I really do. Because I would not want to see something like this derail his career. Because I think he's a great player. I've been paying attention to him since he was with Clemson. So, you know what? I'm not down with that. Because I feel like Jalen Hurts has put in the work. He's ready to go out there and show if he at least deserves a chance to show if he can or can't be the franchise quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And, if he comes out and he's not what the Eagles hoped he would be after this season, that's okay. That's okay, because the Eagles accumulated enough assets to where they can go out and they can make a decision. They can go out and trade for a quarterback, because there's going to be other quarterbacks that get fed up with their fucking team. They get tired of losing. They're going to request a trade. They're going to be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I want to go somewhere else. And then the Eagles are going to be the only team that potentially has 3 first-round picks if Wentz doesn't fuck this team again like he did when he played for us. Because watch him. He going to play like 74 fucking % of the snaps or whatever. He going to play like 1 snap less than what would have got us a first-round pick. Because that's just who Wentz is. He fucking lets everybody down. He was a phenomenal talent, and everyone loved him, and everyone stuck up for him. Even when Nick Foles left, everyone was like, you know what? This is the right decision. Wentz is young. He can get back to that level that he played in 2017. And it never fucking happened. But that's beside the point. The guy fucking made all the people that supported him look bad. He quit on the team. He had a chance. The team went out. They got all these coaches from Indianapolis because we thought that potentially could entice him to say, you know what, I'm going to give it one more run. I wasn't playing well last year, but I want to come back and I want to redeem myself. But he was too fucking scared of competition, and he quit on the team. When he went to Indianapolis in an introductory press conference, he fucking told everyone, I'm done. I knew I was done. I knew I wasn't coming back. So he fucking quit on Philadelphia. He quit on the Eagles. He quit on Eagles fans. He fucking quit on everybody. So fuck Carson Wentz. That's all I got to say about him. He probably will let us down, and we will end up with a second-round pick. But we did make that trade with the Dolphins. So worst-case scenario, we're looking at having 2 first-round picks. Okay, so you can get a great quarterback for a first and some change, a first and a player, or if there's a really good quarterback that becomes available next off season, you could trade 2 first rounders for him if you think it's that worth it. If you're not sold on the guys that's coming out of college, so the Eagles are set up for success. They're gonna have a lot of cap space. They're gonna have a lot of cap space. They're gonna have 3 first-round picks. They're gonna have all these assets available to them to make the team better. So whatever happens this year happens this year. But I don't feel like the other teams in the East, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Washington football team, I don't feel like they made enough moves that they're like, oh man, they're far above Philadelphia. They're far above any other team in the NFC. So they're gonna run away the NFC. No, it's gonna be the same. Maybe not as bad. Maybe not like a losing record is going to win this division. Not embarrassing. But it's going to be bad. It's going to be... I just fucking contradicted myself. It's not going to be great. I didn't mean to say necessarily bad, but it's not going to be great. You know, probably 10 wins is going to win this division. 9, 10. I think the ceiling for any team in this division is 11 wins. If anyone wins more than 11, I'll be fucking shocked. I really will. And that goes for Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. It doesn't matter. Washington doesn't matter. It's gonna be. It's not gonna be hard to watch, but you know it's gonna be a tight race. It's gonna be a tight race, but the Eagles are set up for more success in the future, due to they have all these picks. They're gonna have cap space. It's great. Joey Shakes is in the building as well. Titans have no defense though. Yeah, well, you know what? That's a good point. As far as the Titans, like the biggest problem with the Titans is they could not fucking get to the quarterback. They were one of the worst teams as far as rushing the passer. So, you know, I was surprised to hear that guys are still out there. You know, good pass rushers are still out there that they could go sign. So go fucking do it. If you feel like you have a chance to win when you're in the AFC and you got to go through Patrick Mahomes to even get to the Super Bowl, you better fucking go get those horses that can get after the quarterback. Okay? Buffalo Bills, they're going to be good. Okay? They're going to be good. They were good last year. They're going to be good this year. Cleveland, they're coming. They got a great rushing game going on with the best running back duo in the NFL with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. People like to say, oh, well, the Browns are better without Odell Beckham Jr. That's the most ridiculous thing people say. Odell has fucking mad skills. He's a great receiver. He's going to bounce back from his injury. He's going to be a stud. Jarvis Landry, another good receiver. Okay? They got weapons on offense. They got good pieces on defense. Denzel Ward, one of the best corners in the game. Myles Garrett, one of the best defensive ends in the game. They got a good defense. Kevin Stefanski, I couldn't say his fucking name, but good coach. He really turned the Browns around last season. They won a playoff game. They could have almost beat the Chiefs. That touchback really fucked them in that game. Cleveland's coming. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. There's good teams at AFC. You got to do what you got to do when you feel like you're right there. You feel like you're right there. You could get to the Super Bowl in the next couple years. You need to go all in on doing it. So, yeah, I definitely think the Titans should look into more trades. They got Julio for a second. They didn't have to give up a first. So there's an elite player that becomes disgruntled, that becomes available for the trade deadline, and stock goes down, and you don't potentially have to give up a first-round pick. You can get guys for like a third. Make your team better, whatever it costs. Yep, Carson Wentz has a lot of he definitely has a lot of, even still, you guys call him Wentz apologists. That's not what I call him. That's not what I call them. I call them Wentz sexuals. I call them Wentz sexuals because they're obsessed with him to no end. It's like it's disgraceful. It's bad. It's like, why are they still obsessing over him? He's gone. He's gone. He's not with the team anymore. He's not with the team anymore. When has a real Philadelphia... If you're a real Philadelphia fan, you understand that guys come and go. Guys come and go. Sometimes shit doesn't work out. Okay? Sometimes shit doesn't work out. And saying Wentz didn't work out, that's being nice about it. That's being as nice as possible. But they gave Wentz... People say they didn't do enough for Wentz. I don't agree with that. You basically had a quarterback who won in the playoffs several times with Nick Foles. Won the Super Bowl MVP. He was run out of Philadelphia twice. The first time was extremely unfair. We talked about the dictator Chip Kelly running these great players out of Philadelphia. Shady McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Nick Foles, the most notable three, but also guys like Evan Mathis who were very, very good offensive linemen that he just said, you know what, fuck it, we're going to cut you for no reason. That's beside the point. He got fucking ran out of Philly, and they said, you know what, Wentz was an MVP candidate. If he stayed healthy, he would have won that fucking bitch, and he could have possibly led this team through the playoffs, and he could have been that Super Bowl MVP that Nick Foles was. So they said, you know what? Fuck it. We build this guy a statue at the stadium, but we're still sticking with you over the guy that we built a fucking statue for. What does that say about how they feel about you? What does that say about how they feel about you? Is that not enough for you? And then they give you $130+ million contract? What else do you want? Do you need to get every top 5 player to make you feel like the team supports you? Okay? And if Jalen Hurts goes in and has a better season than Carson Wentz, I don't want to hear anything. Because most of the players that's on the offensive side of the ball that's going to be working with Jalen Hurts, guess what? They're all the same fucking guys other than Devontae Smith, who's a rookie. Devontae, he could be a stud wide receiver. Like, he's a guy who can win his one-on-one matchup no matter what, which is something the Eagles haven't really had. But you want to know something, bro? He's a fucking rookie. So if Devontae goes out and has a year like that, and you use that to make your argument for, like, why they didn't do enough for Carson Wentz, are you fucking joking? Like, a rookie who a lot of people said he's too fucking small to play in the NFL, you're really going to say that's a reason why they did more for Hurts than they did for Wentz? If Hurts goes out, he got the same fucking team. Goddard has played with Wentz. Miles Sanders has played with Wentz. Greg Ward, Rager, Fulgham, all these guys has played with Wentz. But if Hurts plays better than what Wentz has done, what do you expect me to say? What do you expect me to say? So that's where I'm at with this shit. Let's read some more comments. Well, if Carson Wentz had Nick Foles' heart and clutch guts, Wentz would have been a great quarterback. Unfortunately, he doesn't have hearts or guts at all. Yeah, RPF. Or the other way around. You know, Nick Foles was a winning quarterback. He just fucking found a way how to win games. Was he the most talented guy? Hell no. Is his talent close to Wentz's talent? Hell no. But guess what? It's not always about fucking talent. Because Foles didn't have that much talent. He had a good arm, and he thrived when no one believed in him. And that's what carried this team to a title. But here's the thing. If he could move around, he's actually around this. They're pretty much the same size as far as height and weight goes. But if he had all the skills that Wentz has, bro, Nick Foles would have been a fucking straight. He would have been an animal. But Wentz did not give a fuck. He felt like he had that great year in 2017, and then after that, he just didn't give a fuck anymore. He was just like, I was almost an MVP candidate. I was like 23, 24 years old at the time. So, you know what? Who gives a fuck? He didn't work on his mechanics. His footwork was atrocious. His mechanics were really the worst part of his game because his feet would always be fucked up. You guys remember how many times have you seen Wentz, like, Guys are wide the fuck open down to, everyone talks about Nelson Aguilar dropping like game-winning touchdown passes. But how many times has Wentz like overthrown people that are wide the fuck open? It's not because, oh, he's inaccurate. Oh, he's not fucking good. He's not that fucking good. No, he's good, but guess what? He doesn't put the fucking work in. He doesn't do the shit he has to do to get the job done, which is working on your mechanics, which is doing what you got to do. You see what I'm saying, guys? So, with that being said, guys, make sure you keep your eyes on the community post. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Grizz, RPF, Reaper, Joey Shakes, JC, everyone. Sparks has been posting the link to the gaming channel, so make sure you guys go check that shit out. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. So, definitely check out the Sports Gauntlet. Keep your eyes on the community tab, or follow me on Twitter. You guys can see my Twitter handle right there on the screen. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off here, because I actually ordered some shit. I actually ordered takeout from Wawa. So I'm gonna go ahead and go pick that shit up real quick. But yeah, I gotta get going, guys. So I really appreciate you guys supporting the stream, supporting Sports Gauntlet, supporting Philly Jim, the main channel, and everything else, guys. So really appreciate it. That being said, guys, go Birds. Cheers to you guys. I'll probably take a few more shots off camera. But we took one shot during the stream tonight. But definitely shout out to all you guys being part of the family. And we'll see you guys real soon.